A lot of people, especially in our community, they're afraid of debt, right? And they feel like, there's even like financial gurus who are like, yo, stay away from debt, stay away from debt. But for, people who understand wealth, debt could actually be a wealth building tool, especially for people in our community who may not have the capital to start with. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like debt is powerful, right? As long as you have good debt. And we know we gotta buy assets, right? The average house across the country is like $250,000 to $300,000. Yeah. How many of us coming from the hood got $300,000 to go buy an asset, to go buy a house? So if you start from the bottom, you need to leverage other people's money. You need to be able to leverage debt. And I look at it in the sense of net worth, right? That's really what I want to go for. So if I'm able to leverage other people's money to buy an asset and control it and add to my net worth, I can now continuously go out there and buy more assets and create more income. So for anybody that's like watching this right now, I want you to get it out your head. Debt is actually good, right? Wealthy people leverage debt. We abuse debt. We maximize debt so that we could pass it down to our heirs and they can be able to build wealth as well.
Yeah.
Hey, wait. I know you want to watch this next video, but listen, if you are an entrepreneur, business coach, business consultant, or a small business owner who has a story and wants to learn how to create multiple streams of income from your story, I need you to text me right now, my book, to 646-687-4152. That is my personal number. I have been an author for over 12 years. I've written 10 books. 4 of them have been bestsellers, and I've sold over 100,000 books. But I've also helped a lot of my clients take their expertise and put it into a story, then create multiple streams of income from that. So I want to help you do the same thing. So text my book to 646-687-4152. All right, let's go back to the video.
So welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. When I tell you this episode is a special episode that you do not want to miss, stay to the end. Watch, these brothers are going to give you $1 million worth of game. Tell your cousins, your brothers, your aunts, your nephews, everybody to watch this interview. This is inspiration, but not just inspiration that's going to leave you empty. This is inspiration of 3 young brothers who are getting to the bag, and now they are teaching you how to get there as well. We got my man Billionaire B in the building, Ramel, Boone. They're helping you fund your dreams. Welcome to Inside the Vault, fellas, man. How y'all feeling, man? Y'all good?
I'm feeling amazing, my
Yo,
boy.
I'm blessed to be here.
Boom.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Oh, you're going to make me fall. Man, I appreciate y'all for being on the show. One of the things that, I was like, yo, it's necessary to get y'all on the show, especially as a unit, because when I see what y'all doing online, I think first and foremost, what y'all doing individually is powerful, right? So I'm a fan of all of y'all movements, and what y'all doing is phenomenal. And then when I saw y'all come together, I said, this is I need to help amplify the voice, because you guys are showing that collaboration is the new currency. That if we're powerful individually, let's come together and teach the community, right? And I think especially for me, I'm a young OG now. You know what I'm saying? At one point, I didn't want to get that up, but I realize now, I'm a young OG, and to see my younger brothers who are killing it on another level, I salute y'all. And I said, I was like, yo, whatever I could do to amplify y'all voice, I want to. And so, before we get into, this experience y'all got, this 5-day challenge that's going to help people, fund their freedom, individually, if y'all could just introduce yourself and let the people know who you are.
Yeah, absolutely, y'all. Y'all already know what it is, Kid Billionaire B, a.k.a. Brian Waldron from Brooklyn, New York, man. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be part of this stage, happy to be a part of this movement, man. I'm just happy to be a part of it with my brothers, y'all.
My God. Yes, sir. That's a fact. It's Ramel, the young mogul, straight out of Brooklyn, credit expert, commercial real estate investor. And I'm just here to be able to share the experience with my guys and teach y'all how to fund y'all freedom. So that's what it's about.
That's a fact. Derek Boone, Philadelphia, 28 years old. real estate extraordinaire. We're killing it in Philly with real estate, but more importantly, we're doing real estate with other people's money, which we're gonna be showing you guys today.
Yeah, no, I love it. And so, I'm gonna start with Ramel because if y'all are insiders, y'all know we had some commercials in there with my guy, teaching you how to, buy storage buildings and build wealth from there. So let's start there because I think that was one of the things that I was like, when I first got in contact with you, I was like, yo, this is different, right? Because everybody, taught to, buy residential, buy commercial, but you went a different approach. Speak about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I've been in the real estate business for 8 years. So when I started out, just like everybody else, I was buying 2 families, 3 families, 4 families, single family houses, right? And I got to about 40 units. And when the pandemic happened in 2020, when everybody started losing their jobs, money is tight, you couldn't evict people due to monetary reasons. I had a good amount of my tenants that stopped paying their rent, right? So I'm stuck with the mortgage payment. I still got to pay the water bill, taxes, maintenance, but I'm not getting the cash flow. So to be honest with you, like I'm debt heavy, but I'm not too cash heavy. This is 2020. So I started selling off a lot of my properties to liquidate and get some capital, right? And one tenant of mine, I wanted to sell the property. He wasn't trying to leave. So I offered him $2,000 cash for keys. I'm like, yo, take this $2,000, leave. I just want to get rid of the property. So I got him out. But in the midst of that, he said, yo, I need to put my items in a storage unit. Can you pay for that for 90 days? I said, all right, let's do it. I started looking for a storage unit in my area. Everything was sold out. So I'm thinking, damn, like what's going on? Why is every single storage unit sold out? I need to be on this side of the business, right? So that's when I started Googling, YouTubing, diving in, paid $25,000, joined a mastermind, flew out to Arizona, and learned this whole new world of self-storage. Bought my first facility, and it's crazy that it's actually easier to finance a self-storage facility than it is residential real estate, which is crazy, right? And so I want to teach other people how to go out there and do it because you can make money in real estate without the hassle of tenants living in your units, right? I don't got to deal with plumbing, kitchens, bathrooms, and I still get the appreciation, the equity, the tax advantages, and the cash flow.
Wow. B, talk to us, man. Event space, right?
Yo.
So you like the young god of event spaces.
Yo, y'all already know what it is. It's the event space GOAT, man. Started back in 2017. Had my first spot. I used to be a server, got fired at my job, and I started helping out with a smaller space here in Brooklyn. And I'm just like, yo, people paying like a couple $100s for a few hours at a spot. Like, this is crazy. Like, I gotta be on the other side of the business, you know what I'm saying? So I saved with $30,000 in a year from my job, and I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna go get my own space. Got my first space, trying to figure things out. Didn't have a mentor or anything like that, because I just didn't know. It took a lot longer because I didn't have nobody showing me the ropes. Figured it out eventually, and I'm like, yo, hold on, I just made like 15 grand in a month. Like, this is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to put down real estate or anything like that, but most I know, typically, like when you get a house or whatever, like it's not cash flowing like this, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, yo, this event space thing is pretty smooth. Saved up, got my 3rd one, then I got my 4th one, got my 5th one. Started doing like 6 figures in a month off this thing, and I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. Wow. So now we purchasing property and stuff like that to put the spaces in there and just run it up even more. So I'm blessed and happy to be here to show other people how they can do the same exact thing using other people's money.
Wow. Boone, talk to us. So we got a whole episode of you that we're going to drop later on. But for those, they by the time they see this episode, they're not going to see the other one yet. But, talk to them a little bit about, who you are and how'd you build your wealth.
Yeah, so in 2017, I got started in real estate. Right before that, I was working in a retirement home, making $10 an hour. Like, wasn't having no money, no extra stuff. A lot of people have college degrees and all this stuff. That wasn't my situation. Actually got kicked out of college, a whole bunch of stuff. But what happened was I actually got into real estate in sales first because I didn't have the money to buy a house. I didn't have a good credit, none of that. So I got into sales first, ran it up crazy off of sales. But one of the things that really changed the game for me is when I bought my first property. And what a lot of people don't understand is I'm big on other people's money. So a lot of people don't know you could do something called seller financing. So basically I bought the first property, but I worked it out with a family member where I basically gave them a lump sum up front and I paid the rest off monthly. But then this is the thing, I utilized someone else's money, a lender, and I told the lender that I needed money to fix up the house. So I needed about $60,000 to fix up the house. I told them I needed 100. So they wired the 100 over, I kept the 40, and then I did it with another house, and I just kept taking more and more money off the top from each property. And that's how I kept flipping and buying more houses. And then we still sell a lot of houses, just direct sales. And that's how we kind of ran it up.
Wow.
Yeah, all of it's somebody else's money.
Yeah, and I love it, right? Because like y'all came together helping people fund their dreams, right? Fund their freedom. Talk about that dynamic. Like how did y'all like what made y'all say, yo, we killing it in our individual spaces, but we want to come together and create, you know what I'm saying, like the locks of real estate.
So
LOX.
It was crazy, right? So I'm big on, I think all of us are big on, we all talk to everybody's story. All of us big on joining mentorship, joining programs, but more importantly, joining rooms. I'm big on getting in a room. And a lot of people don't realize that a room doesn't have to be something physical. It could be something virtual, like our 5-day challenge. That's a virtual room where you can build with and put things together and plays. And honestly, getting in rooms that you have to pay for are the best rooms to be in because you know everybody's serious. Right. It's not like we at the bus stop, everybody just here. We in rooms where like everybody's paying X amount of dollars to be involved, so you know they're serious to some point. So now we all join this room, and then next you know, we like, oh, you doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, he's doing his thing, but also you're serious, you're serious, you're serious. Even our screensaver all has the same thing, a dollar amount we trying to hit. Like, we're serious, we're locked in. So then that's when B came with the idea, like, yo, listen, how about we come together, and we actually did a live, and it just kind of like, it just synced. Like, people was like, y'all the shit, basically. So we kind of just went from there and we said, look, how can we add more value? So that's the biggest thing that we all on. How can we add more value? Like, not into just talking fluff, not into just, you know, just shooting breeze, as B always called it. Like, how can we actually give real game? And the crazy thing about it is people get so much credit cards, lines of credit, business line of credit, just funding to do whatever business they want off of our lives, off of our last challenge, but also people actually came together, like we came together off that room. People did deals together, like 2 people just made $12,000 off a transaction literally last week from our last. So it's like getting in the room is important, and we prime example of how that can happen.
Nah, I love it. I love it. Talk a little bit about, you know, building wealth from credit, right? And so, you know, I know a lot of people, especially in our community, they're afraid of debt, right? And they feel like, you know, there's even like financial gurus who are like, yo, stay away from debt, stay away from debt. But for, you know, people who understand wealth, debt could actually be a wealth building tool, especially for people in our community who may not have the capital to start with. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like debt is powerful, right? As long as you have good debt. And we know we gotta buy assets, right? The average house across the country is like $250,000 to $300,000. Yeah. How many of us coming from the hood got $300,000 to go buy an asset, to go buy a house? So if you start from the bottom, you need to leverage other people's money. You need to be able to leverage that. And I look at it in the sense of net worth, right? That's really what I want to go for. So if I'm able to leverage other people's money to buy an asset and control it and add to my net worth, I can now continuously go out there and buy more assets and create more income. So for anybody that's like watching this right now, I want you to get it out your head. Debt is actually good, right? Wealthy people leverage debt. We abuse debt. We maximize debt so that we could pass it down to our heirs and they can be able to build wealth as well.
Yeah. And you know, one of the things that people don't even really talk about is that you never pay taxes on debt, right? And so you pay taxes on income, right? And so the money that's coming in, if you're making moves with the money that's coming in, that's taxes. But if you are I'm giving too much sauce. B, talk to us, man. Talk to us, man.
Yo, just to add on to my brother, man, the thing about it is that we only have so much capital, right? Like, for example, I had my 30K as a server. I saved that up in a year. My entire life savings, 22 years old, my entire life savings. And when I look back at it now, I'm just like, bro, I could have ran it up even then if I just learned how to structure my credit report, get a loan, build with these different credit unions, I could have probably made that same amount of money that I'm making now back then as a 22, 23-year-old. So the thing that a lot of people understand, to add on to what my brother was just saying, is that credit and debt is a wealth multiplier. You can only go so fast alone, but you can go so far together. And when I say together, I mean with other people's money. Like, for example, like we're each, like what Derek was saying, we're each great in our own dynasty, our own genre, but we're the 3-headed goat right now.
Talk that
so
talk.
When it's on top of us and when we come together, it's just like it's a whole different beast. Imagine the type of person, imagine the type of wealth creator you can be when you learn how to leverage other people's capital.
Yeah, no, I love it. And so y'all have this experience, 5-day challenge which I love. I mean, if you're an insider, you've watched this show plenty of times before. You know I'm a big fan of the 5-day challenge, and the reason why I'm a big fan of it is because I've watched it during the pandemic. People get on live, they sell you a product or service, they do a webinar, or they put a lot of money in the ads and they try to sell their course, but then you get inside and they're not really who they are. They're not really giving you what they say they won't give you. And for me, the 5-day challenge was the answer to that, because you can't fake for 5 days. You can't fake for 5 days. If somebody pays a low ticket amount like $97 or $297 to spend 5 days with somebody, by day number 3, you know if they really about game or if they just trying to take your money from you. And so that's why I've always been a big fan of that model. You guys have a 5-day experience where people can spend time with you. What can the people expect, spending 5 days with you?
Well, first and foremost, you said something good. By day 2, day 3, you already realize that they the real deal or not. Imagine day 1, that same night, day 1, hey, in the Facebook group, hey, we got approved for $20,000. Hey, we got approved for $50,000. Like, I got screenshots for days. Like, we can keep this episode for 20 hours. We'll still keep scrolling of people just getting approved from day 1. Like, what's the return if you're getting approved? You're paying $297 for an event, and then you're getting $30,000 that night, 0% interest for 12 months. And then on day 2, we're showing you what to do with that money. Like, it's so crazy because our last challenge, people was on the challenge and said, how can we pay you more money? Can you send us another invoice link? I can't make this stuff up. So like you said, by day 3, it's like, yo, they're real deal. What happens if it's day 1? Like, and that's what the challenge, and I love that, because I'm big on, B always tell me, like, I'm big on just over delivering and giving as much value as possible. And it's just crazy what type of experience we're giving off of just day 1. Like, day 1, they're like, yo, I got my money back. Yeah. So it's just
not even
crazy.
day 1, day 0 with the kickoff call.
The kickoff call. Shoot, the Facebook group, when we chopping it up in the Facebook group, we going live at he going live as events, I'm going live at my property, he's going live at the store. Like, it's
can't fake that.
Yeah, you can't fake it.
And to add to that, right, is re-giving them our experiences. So a lot of this stuff you can't Google, you can't YouTube, right? You got to get it from people that actually done it, right? So not only are we teaching you how to get the money, because the biggest thing is what to do with the money. Right? Like, a lot of people go get approved for a $20,000 credit card, $50,000, $15,000. But what do you do at that point? So we want to teach you how to do it. Can I get them some game? I want to give them some game, because
I'm ready to get into that.
I want to get right to it, let them know, right? Yeah. So with the self-storage facilities, a lot of people don't know that you can leverage SBA. We only heard about the SBA because of the pandemic, right? PPPs, EIDL loans. That's when our community started hearing
people
about it.
People ran it up off that.
SBA is something called the SBA 7A loan. That's specifically designed for a newbie self-storage investor. So somebody start from the bottom that never been in the commercial real estate business, never bought a self-storage, you could actually qualify and they finance you up to 90%. So that's why I love it. So all you gotta do is come to the table with 10%. So I just bought a self-storage facility. It was $750,000. I only had to come to the table with like 90 grand, right? But I leveraged that off a business credit card, 0% interest, right? So now you in the game, no money out of your pocket, you own the asset, you got the equity, the value, and we break it down on how you build multiple streams out of one asset, right? So now you own that facility. Well, we get a moving company as well now, because when people move coming in the unit, they need a moving service. Well, I'm gonna provide that service, right? They need transportation.
He talking spicy. He talking spicy right now.
They need transportation, right? Well, guess what? We teach you how to go and get vehicle loans in your business name. You can go get a van, right? Cargo van, and now rent out vans, because that's the service that people need. So now you got 3 streams of income off of one acquisition, right? We got people moving in and out of the units. We get hot, we get tired, we get hungry. Well, guess what? We put vending machines on the facility as well, because if I see the vending machine, I'm already thirsty now, just by seeing it. That's another stream of income. You could buy that with a credit card. So these are just simple plays that we want to teach you, not only how to get the money, how do you take it and park it into different vehicles to get wealth, to build up your family last name, and really fund your freedom. Right. That's just like a few plays. That's just a few.
Crazy. One, I heard someone say this before, is information, but you can't do nothing without strategy. Like our challenge is not only just information based, but it's strategy based. We actually line you up with actual strategy, actual plays to go and run behind that. Otherwise, you just ended the challenge with $100,000 that week, and you like, what do I do? Now you leading going into Miami. Now you just
Facts. And that's why I love. Listen, yo, look, I was gonna wait to the end to drop the link, but yo, make sure y'all go to fundingthevault.com, join them, because I love what you just said, because that's the dangerous part though of using other people's money, right? Because if like you get 90 grand, that's enough to go get that Lamborghini, get that Urus or whatever, and then now you created this liability for yourself, trying to figure out how you gonna pay it, right? How to pay it back. But if you learn how to take 90K, now you have a asset worth $750,000, right? That you didn't pay anything out your pocket, and immediately you're able to start cash flowing on that property, and that cash flow can now lend itself for you to start other businesses. Now that 90,000, you have the cash flow already to start paying that 90,000 back, and then now as you have that cash flow, you could keep running the play over and over and over and over again and build wealth. That means you'll never have to worry about a pandemic. You'll never have to worry about a recession. You'll never have to worry about your 9-to-5 firing you, none of that.
Never.
100%. Just to add on to that, and I feel like that's the great part about our challenge is that we not only are giving you the place to get that capital, we've shown you off rip 3, 5, 10 different ways to go and run it up. Wow. For example, even with the event space, like we just bought a building and it was no money out of pocket. Why? Because the thing about it is that like when a lot of people leverage an LLC, I know a lot of people know about that, getting an LLC, putting your assets in a business entity, right? What you go ahead and do is now when you get that fund LLC, right? We use something called a Stripe Capital loan. A lot of people don't even use that. A lot of people use like a Stripe as their payment processor, but they don't even realize that Stripe, QuickBooks, Square, they give their own loans. Everybody trying to get a bag, right? Everybody trying to get a bag. So what I realized, I'm just like, yo, I'm running up all this money from Stripe. They turned around and made me an offer. So now it's like, all right, I bought a property for $500,000, right? Just to use numbers, right? I bought the property for $500,000, so I got to come up with my 75%, right? Because I didn't use the SBA loan, right? So I had to put my 25% down, right? I got my 25% from the Stripe Capital loan. So now I have this entire property, zero money out of pocket. Wow. But now guess what? My mortgage is only about $2,000, right? I got the guy next door paying me to rent out the parking lot $1,500 a month. I got a billboard upstairs, they pay me $500. Already my mortgage is covered. Then I got 2 spaces right there, 1,600, 2,400 square feet. Each one going, on average, do $10K a month even. Wow. So I got an entire asset, no money out of pocket, and it's gonna, on the low end, net me $10,000.
Wow.
Just by using other people's monny.
Wow.
Just by having an LLC.
Wow.
You feel me?
Yo, so let's talk a little bit about like how good it is for y'all to be so young with all this game, right? I mean, it's good for me, right? But I would love to hear y'all perspective on like being young guys, get into the bag, now teaching the bag. Like, what is that feeling? What is that feeling like?
Honestly, it feels amazing because now, let me tell you a funny story. So what our team does, we cold call houses all day, right? And we had a hot lead, so then I jumped on the phone. I'm trying to close a guy out. And he was like, yo, you sound young. You doing your thing. I was like, yeah, appreciate it. He said, man, you get to me. He said, I own like 8 or 10 houses, something like that. He said, you get to my age, 70, 80 years old, you'll be able to own 8 or 10 houses. So I'm just sitting there thinking like, the way we're using funding and the way we're utilizing our age, we don't have to wait till 70, 80 years old to go own 10 houses. Yeah. You could do that in a month. Absolutely. Utilizing other people, seriously, right. Utilizing other people's money and being our age and having this skill set, we understand like, honestly, time is just time. You got to figure out how you're going to utilize it. Yeah. So now we'll be able to put together things I'm 28 and we get to have all millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate by 28. Like that's crazy where this guy's saying, yo, by the time you 80, bro, you can get to my point. Like this not back in the day where you buy one house every 10 years. Like you got to save up and then buy. No, we don't have to do that. And then another thing to add on now, because you're young and people see the results, you can inspire other individuals. So one of the things I'm big on is partnership, right? Because we all know not all funding requires a good credit, but a lot of it requires good credit. So let's say, for example, I have a 580 credit score, but let's say you have a 700 credit score. Okay, look, how about we partner? I'm good at finding deals. I'm good at putting things together, and I know contractors. All right, look, you have a 700 credit score. I'm going to send you, let's say, Alliance Credit Union. I'm going to get you approved for $20,000. You have 2 LLCs. We're going to get you approved for $40,000. Well, in order for us to buy this house, we need $40,000. So look, let's put this together. You come with the money to buy the house. I found the deal. I structured the deal. My contractor's going to fix the deal up. We're going to sell it. We're going to make, let's say, 100. I'm going to give you back your 40, and we're going to split the change right over there. But literally, we just did this off of money I just sent to you. Right. Off of someone else's money. But now you're willing to do that because you're like, yo, how are you young? So we can inspire more people. When you hear somebody older, they say this like, all right, you see somebody 28, they saying they're like, he on to something.
Right, 100%. And so, you know, when you think about this 5-day challenge and y'all coming together, like what is the you know, like, I mean, you said y'all have like a lot of receipts of people getting, you know, funding. What are some other like benefits or other success stories that y'all have seen in your challenge so far?
Yo, I'll take this one actually. I had a lady join our program, and literally 2 weeks she found a space. Next 2 weeks she made 10K. Wow. Like, and like me personally, like when I started in this game, I didn't do it, but then it's just kind of like, now that we have the benefit of hindsight, like the thing about it, like when somebody joins a challenge like this, not only do they get into the room, they are learning from the experiences. Like Ramel said, you can't learn this stuff on Google and YouTube. Try it. You could search event space on YouTube. I'm the first person who comes up. I know it's on YouTube, right? So like the thing, like
I be seeing your commercials too. I be trying to check my interviews out. And I be seeing you pop up there too, Billionaire D.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, Derek has bought millions of dollars of real estate. You can't find that in a book. Right. Ramel has bought $1 million of commercial property. You can't find that in a book. Yeah. I've done millions of dollars off event-based sales. You're not going to find that in a book. You have to find real people who are doing real stuff and have real stuff to back it up. Right. Like, why is it that, like, I have mentees, and, like, it's so funny because I was on YouTube and a lady commented, and I found it, like, don't ever put your limiting beliefs on other people. Don't ever, like, and I hate, and I don't like to use the word hate, but like, it really grinds my gears, right? When people try to say like, you can't do that, I just like to say, watch me. Because the thing about it is that like a lady commented, she's just like, oh, you can't do $20,000 in a month off of space. I'm just like, look, listen, I'm a bet.
Right, watch me.
Right? Yeah. I just had a mentee. He came up, got his first space. I showed him like, yo, this is what you're gonna do. You can put the upsells like this, put the systems in like that. 20 grand, his first month. Month 1.
Wow.
It's not that it's impossible, it's just you haven't done it yet. So when I tell people get into the room, I'm not telling you for us, I'm not telling you for me, I'm not telling you for Derek or Ramel. It's because this is going to change your life, but you gotta let it first.
Another thing I want to add, but what you said something really good, like you can't find this stuff on Google, like, hey, how to find houses. Zillow comes up. Like simple stuff. But we talking about how to do backdoor funding strategy. Right. You can't Google that. There's no way you can, what we talking about, you can't go, how to go ahead and move dates around, how to go ahead and balance transfer the money, how to go ahead and get the money off the credit card into your checking account, how to move it around. You can't Google that stuff. Try it. It's not gonna work.
And you know what the other thing I like about, you know what you guys are doing and the opportunity really that you're giving people is you also give them, like those who are premium, who, you know, get into VIP, you give them access to be able to talk to you, right? So it's not just 5 days of just learning, of you talking, and then that's it. But there's also a component in which you're answering questions. People are asking you, like, specifically, like, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? B, you know, somebody right now is trying, I mean, you kind of gave it to us, but somebody who's trying to, you know, start and, you know, get their first event space. Like, what advice are you giving that person?
One of the biggest things that I see people doing wrong is that they give up too early. They think that they're just gonna jump into the world and be like, my dream space is gonna be right in front of me. Like, has a deal ever been right in front of us? No, you gotta make it a deal, and you gotta find opportunity where there isn't always opportunity. So a lot of times I tell people, I'm just like, yo, look, listen, it's a numbers game. You contacted 1 to 2 realtors before, contact 10 to 20. I guarantee you're gonna find, because all our people who have found spaces in record time, it's just numbers. It's just scale. It's like, do whatever you were doing at a faster, farther rate. And just to add on to what you were saying, I feel like how a lot of people come into these rooms, they're not only coming for access, especially people who are of a, let's say, higher income bracket, premium people, they come for curation. I want what you did in record speed. Like, it took us 4 years to have our first 100K month. I had a student 1 year, $50,000 in a month, because he had everything that I learned, everything that Billionaire Beast has ever garnered in all these years in a nice little box with a bow on it, right? So when you get into rooms like this, not only are you paying for access, not only are you paying for questions answered, you're paying for speed. You're paying for that desired outcome. If whatever it is you want to do, you want to retire by 60, we're going to show you how to do it the next 10 years. You want to learn how to get your first 10 properties in a year, we're going to show you how to do that record time, a couple months, but you got to put the work in. You know what I'm saying? You got to put the work in, you got to put the time in, you got to invest. But it starts with getting inside the room first.
Why you work so hard? Because I'm trying to get some money, punk. Man, why you keep calling these people? Because I'm trying to get what I deserve.
If you haven't wrote down your goals, if you never envision it, it will never happen. So if you haven't wrote down your goals, you need to manifest that and speak it to existence, because the Bible says, speak those things that are not as though they are.
Everything that you've ever wanted, everything that you've ever desired, any dream, any aspiration, all of it is now going to take shape.
Know the importance of keeping your job, because your job is your first business partner.
Wall Street looks like us now. It's a battle cry. Wall Street looks like us now. It's the equalizer.
If you can start training your brain to start thinking about solutions to problems and challenges rather than letting them slow you down, you are going to dominate this life.
And when I learned that selling is not about convincing people to do something they don't want to do, selling is about empowering people and freeing people from their inhibitions so that they can do something they already desire to do.
I cried too much to settle. I prayed too long to settle. I fought through too much to settle. I didn't make it through COVID to settle. I'm ready to step into everything that God's got for me.
Yeah, and what's your thoughts about, you guys are all entrepreneurs, and a lot of the people who, watch our show may have, side hustles or may have a 9-to-5. What's your thoughts about doing this, as somebody who has a job? Is it something that, you would advise, or you got to be an entrepreneur to do this? Or, can you be successful in any of what you're doing while still working?
Yes. So
No,
I'll
go
answer
ahead.
that because,
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I'm living proof of that, right? Like, I literally lived that. I feel like I've done the traditional route, right? I don't have a major rags to riches story from prison and this, So I went to college. Negative. Cut that.
Yo, I was gonna do it, man.
But listen, right? So I'm the first person in my family to go away to college, right? Graduated with my bachelor's, business management, minor communications, when it got the corporate route. A lot of people in my family, they thought I made it. Like, yo, you making 50, 60,000 a year? They thought I made it. Because compared to everybody else in my community, that's like a great expectation. But I knew I'm 60,000, I'm worth 60 million. That's how I feel in my mind. You gotta believe it first, right? I always say your lifestyle is your mindset turned inside out, right? Because what you think and what you speak becomes your actions become your habits, and that's your life. You know what I'm saying? So I always used to speak to myself, listen, I'm worth 60 million, I'm worth 70 million, I'm worth 80 million. And every single day that I walked into the office, I said, yo, I don't work for you, you work for me. That's how I looked at it, right? I had to change my perspective. So now I'm going into the office and I'm leveraging my W-2s, because you need that to get approved with certain mortgages and different lending products. So I get my W-2s, and now I would go buy property. Every single year I would buy properties and build it up. All right, next year I'm gonna buy 3. The next year I'm gonna buy 5, until I built it up. And now I have passive income that supersedes my living expenses. It covers all of my employer income, right? So you can build it up that way. And the beautiful thing I love about real estate is because you can do it even when you have a job. And you don't have to be a full-time entrepreneur. You just gotta be able to understand the strategy and go after it. So I want everybody to understand, if you got a 9-to-5 job, that actually can help you, to be honest, because it allows you to get more funding faster to buy more assets and then get you that freedom.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a fact. So just want to add in what you said, the W-2s, for people that do have jobs, the W-2s will help, especially when you're going over that 50K mark. So what a lot of people don't know, like KeyBank, Alliance, a lot of these places, they'll do no documents for your approvals, anything under $50,000. So let's say, for example, KeyBank is one. You'll go there, you can apply for a line of credit or a personal credit card, and as long as you will ask for anything under $50,000, which I've helped a lot of people do that, and I personally did it, they don't ask for no documents. at all. You put how much you make, you put this, you put that, and they're not asking for a single document from you. All the thing they need is your social security number to run your credit. When you go over $50,000, that's when they start asking some questions. But if you have those W-2s, you have that paperwork to show, you can get access to that. So for people that are, I don't have a job, I'm just starting my business, the under 50K route may be for you, but if you have multiple LLCs, then you can run it. You can get $200,000 back to back to back. The game almost got you back to back to back. But now if you go over $50,000, the people that do have jobs, people do have W-2s, then you can go and tap into that. So like to not get funded doesn't make sense. Like it's a route for either, or you have a job or you don't have a job. You have good credit or you don't have good credit. We got options for you all across the board.
The game got him in a chokehold.
Got you.
No, as you was talking,
Water on the set.
as you was talking, I was trying to hold it, but I was like, man, I can't hold it.
At least y'all know this isn't real time.
Real time.
Water on the set.
Appreciate you, bro. Yo, I was.
Take your time, bro.
I'm good.
Oh,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
I'm good.
You good, big fella?
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck happened. All right.
It was too spicy.
Yo, too much spice. Too spicy. All right.
Oh, appreciate it.
Mic check. I don't know what the fuck just happened though, cause I'm just like talking, and then all of a sudden, like as Boone talking, my shit, I was like, oh shit, I gotta cough.
It's too spicy, bro.
And you was holding it too long, so probably just
No,
got
that's
you.
what I'm saying. I was holding it, so I was like,
You supposed to let it out.
This shit. Like, all right. Mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. All right, I think I'm good. All right, and so I love that because, you know, the ability to be able to, you know, like you said, use other people's funding, regardless of where you know, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you have a 9-to-5. What is the biggest mistake though that you would say people are making that's stopping them from getting, you know, funding or using other people's money?
Limiting beliefs.
Yeah, it's a few things. You got to believe, like you said, but also you got to understand underwriting guidelines, right? Data points. And these are the things that we're going to teach during that 5 days, knowing exactly what the lenders are looking for. You got to know exactly where you need to qualify. And I'm going to give like a simple concept, but it's so powerful. And this is how I've been able to really build my own private fund of investors, right? Not going out finding a bunch of, you know, millionaires. No, people every day that's around me. So every single year I would have what I call a family legacy meeting, right? And I have my aunts, my cousins, my brother, my sister, my best friend, everybody come to the table, and I put together a seminar as we would do out in the public, but just for family. Part of the requirement is you got to make sure that everybody go and get their credit pulled. So when you come to the meeting, I want to see everybody's credit profile, right? So now I can see who got an 800 credit score, who got a 400 credit score, who got a 700, and now we can strategically place people on these LLCs to go get them funded. And how we do it, we do a family susu. So we'll put up $200 each month. So we got 12 people, $200. Now that month, I'm gonna go fix auntie credit because her credit is $450 this month. That's what we're gonna use the money now. All right, next month we're gonna fix cousin credit, right? So we move the money around to fix everybody's credit, make sure everybody got an LLC. And I took my cousin, right? He worked, he's a correction officer, right? He worked 50, 60 hours a week, pay his bills on time. He never checked his credit. He just a responsible person. Because I had the family legacy meeting, we pulled up his credit. He had an 800 credit score, didn't even know it. Said, yo, let me put you on my business, on my operating agreement. I want to show you how to go get some money. In 24 hours, got him $45,000 in business credit. He like, yo, let's go get more. How do I do that, right? So now, all right, I want to set you up, got him his own LLC, put him through the same process, got him $250,000 in funding. And that's how we raised the money together, and now we got over $4 million in business credit, and that's what we use to go buy facility after facility. So you can do that literally with your family. It's a simple concept, but the execution on it and the impact is crazy.
Wow, like I don't even think y'all understand the game that was just dropped here and how, like, that's the answer, right? Like, you talk about legacy. Like I hear this all the time. People always talk about generational wealth, build generational wealth, but not understanding the tools and the keys and how to actually do it. And man, you start adding life insurance into that?
Yo,
He ain't getting
heavy.
that.
I ain't even get into that one.
Until
I
you
ain't
get
even
him
into that.
started.
Yo,
But, yeah.
like that's next level game, right? And so, what promise is it, right? So like, they spend 5 days with you guys. We know they're gonna get business funding. We're gonna, learn how to structure it. Like, what else will somebody get by, spending 5 days with you guys?
Show you how to structure your credit report. So like we said, some funding you don't need credit, but a lot of funding you do. And the biggest thing is people paying $1,000, $2,000 for credit repair. A lot of the credit can be fixed, repaired on your own. And it doesn't even require thousands of dollars. I know a lot of credit repair companies, they my friends, but you don't have to pay them. Like I'm gonna show you how to do it from our challenge from within. And once that credit is fixed, then you can go ahead and get your 30, your 40, your 50, 100, 200, $250,000. And that's one of the major things because we want to give you guys not only the front end, but also the back end too. The front end, how to fix your credit. Front end, how to go ahead and apply. What to put on the applications. That's a whole different thing. What things to put on the app so you can better chance of you're getting approved. And then the back end, we're showing you how to go and get set up with the event space, how to get set up with the commercial real estate, how to get set up with the residential real estate, and some other things we don't even want to talk about on here. But so it's like the $297. It's like at this point,
No brainer, right? Because if you're watching this episode up until this part, you already know like these young brothers already know what you've gotten $1 million worth of games so far, right? Like you've already got $1 million. Like literally, if you run a play that Boone just gave you, if you run a play that Ramel just gave you run a play that Billionaire B just gave you, immediately, like just by free information, you've gotten enough information that you can set your family on the next trajectory, spend 5 days with these brothers, and really just get the game, right? Get the game and learn, how to create generational wealth. What is y'all why? Like each of y'all individually, like why do you do what you do?
I guess I'll start. I was raised by a single mom, so I know a lot of people, they heard the story, whatever the case may be, or like they might be in the same thing. But like I see my mom come to this country with $100 in her pocket, and like God gives his strongest battles to his strongest soldiers, right? And I see like what my mom has been able to do. She's been holding her job down for years. She got her own property, got her own car. I ain't trying to put mom's business on blast like that, but like she's done a lot for herself as an immigrant woman, as an immigrant black woman. So I feel like my God-given purpose on this earth is to just take care of her for the rest of her life. Like you good. Like I just want to be able to see like, yo, mom, you good. Like you don't gotta worry about it. Like I pay my mom's mortgage right now, but I wanna fully just like, you work for me now. You don't work for nobody else right now. Right. So everything that I'm doing every single day, every breath that I take is just for that.
Yeah, my why is opportunity. Like that's really why I do it, because growing up, poverty, welfare, food stamps, Brooklyn, like we don't see no opportunities outside of thinking we're gonna be the biggest drug dealer, the biggest gangster, or we're gonna be a rapper or athlete, right? So I wanna be able to show people that you could do different things. You could be an everyday millionaire, because that's literally what we are, right? Doing business with people that you walk up the street, they be in Walmart and they're multi-millionaires. So I wanna be able to provide opportunity, right? My dad is in my business. Like he said, his mom wanted him to work, his mom to work for him. My dad worked for me in my business, right? He's retired though, but he's making $10,000, $15,000 a month in my empire, right? Like my brother. So I want to be able to just show other people that there's an opportunity out there beyond what we've been seeing, man. The representation, it starts with us coming together and showing people no egos. We want to come together to really show other people that they could do the exact same thing. Yeah, I love it.
For me, my why is freedom. Honestly, just being able to move how you want to move and freely. So one of my things is like my son means like the world to me. So when I was growing up, my parents never was together. So I've been in custody court since I was the child. I've always been going week to week to week. But I always realized when I was at my dad's house, he wouldn't get off work till 9, 10 o'clock at night. So I'm literally taking care of my brother and sister until he comes home. But also, he can't really see a lot of stuff because he's at work, or he might do overtime on the weekends. So what I realized for me early on is I want to set up so much stuff now, my son is 1 now, So when he turns 2 or 3, I don't have to miss a single game. I don't have to miss any single, like whatever you need me to do, I'll be watching you for 24 hours. Obviously you can't do that as I get older, but that's like, he's literally my world to me. So I want to be there nonstop. Hey, you got another game, you got another practice. Look, we practice all day long. If you want to be the next, Michael Jordan, or if you want to be the professional pianist, like I'm here at every practice, at everything, and getting funding, getting properties, getting all these different things will help pay for that passive income. So like, yo, I'm gonna be in the house for this whole year. We training for the Olympics. That's what we doing. And I don't gotta worry about that because the passive income pays for the entire lifestyle. So like, yo, we taking 5 years off. You're gonna be in the Olympics, or we taking 5 years off. You about to be the next best drummer. Like whatever it is he wants to do, I could be there and take over every practice or be, chaperone or whatever the case may be. So that's for me. I don't want to have to leave.
And I'm gonna blow Boone's spot up real quick. One of the biggest things that I love seeing about Derek is that he brings his son around. So I told you I was gonna blow it up. He brings his son around all his properties. Now, I know a lot of people, like, they might follow him on Instagram, things like that, and just, say, property, yeah, I want to do that, But for me, I see exposure. Yeah. And I love to see that because his son, as he grows up, like, he's not caring about Jordans. Facts. He's not caring about Gucci. He's not caring about he's not caring about all that regular stuff, and that's not to put that stuff down, but he's been growing up in an environment that's based on wealth. Yeah. That's all he knows. Yeah. Like his mind is just gonna work in terms of, all right, cool. All I gotta do is I gotta buy this duplex. I'm gonna get the funding from over here. So it's gonna be like second nature to him. Y'all talking ABCs, he's talking duplexes, triplexes, and quads. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like for a lot of people, you can be in a whole different environment by just being in a whole different environment. It's like I read this article. I read this article and it's just like by nature, people who are raised in wealthy households, it's almost predestined that they will be wealthy. Yeah. Like they could not go to college, they cannot do any, like they could just like F up their life. Yeah. But just by mere habit and exposure, they are predestined for greatness. Wow. So I just want to, first of all, just give my brother his flowers. Give both my brothers his flowers. But just let everybody know, just like you will literally be in a whole different world. You just got to put yourself in a whole different orbit. Yeah, no, I love that. And I think for me, like that's one of the reasons why, it was important for me to have y'all on the show because we see a lot of these rappers, like they are dangerous species, right? Like I'm talking about every other month, somebody getting killed, like, and it's crazy. And these are young brothers who got families who are dying. And I always hear people say, well, they need better examples. They need better examples. And I'm like, nah, the examples are out here. We just need to be able to amplify their voices. And, that's why I said as a young OG, I said, all right, you know what? Let me use my voice. Let me use my platform to amplify what you brothers are doing, right? Because I know that, like when somebody sees a 28-year-old millionaire, like see young multi-millionaires, like, and they like, wait, he say jacking all the time, right? Like he talk how I talk. You know what I'm trying to say? Not me, but I'm saying he's like a young person's like, yo, he talk how I talk, and I could feel him, I could understand him. What message would you have for young people, right? And obviously, your challenge is not only for young people, because I'm actually going to join, because I'm like, I need to learn how to access business funding more. So obviously, your challenge isn't just for young people. You could be, 50, 60 years old and still learn, how to access other people's money. But specifically for the young people, like what message would you have for those who might have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, trying to figure things out?
So for the young people, I really want to give a message of you can be anything that you want to be. The second thing is, and I'm not against college, but for a lot of young people, they feel like, because they're pressured by parents that don't know, and there's no disrespect to anybody's parent, but they don't know anything about entrepreneurship. They don't know anything about business credit. They don't even know anything about funding or any of those things. They only know go to college, get a good job, do X, Y, and Z. So we're peer pressured in our home more than outside. So now we're peer pressured, go to college, go to college, go to college. And a lot of young people, they're like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. And I want to send a message of like, there are other options. I believe in the word options, like having multiple options to do different things. And I want the young people to really know, like, okay, because college didn't work out for me. So, but I showed proof that that's not the end all be all. And the other thing I want young people to understand that it's cool to talk about finances. It's cool to talk about credit. It's cool to talk about wealth. It's cool to talk about businesses. Like all these other things that a lot of people talking about really don't matter. And then the last thing is your environment is so important. Like a lot of people, and I get so passionate about this stuff because I feel like what you see and what you're around end up becoming you. So a lot of us, we're around a lot of things that's just BS, a lot of nonsense, and we end up becoming it. If you put young people, like for example, let's say for example my son, he's already seeing a lot of expensive stuff. So if he's hanging around his friends like, yo, let's go joyride in Mr. John's car. Like, why would I do that? My dad has a car. Right. Like, so if we show young people that this is what this environment looks like. I took it's a real expensive neighborhood in Philadelphia. It's called Gladwin, right outside of Philly. All multi-million-dollar houses. I always take my little cousins and stuff to ride through those. Now they're like, this is nothing. Like, why do I want to stay down, in this neighborhood when I can just go take a 30-minute drive and just check that out for the day? We just removed them from a lot of negative stuff that could have happened in that crazy neighborhood by showing them there's other stuff out there. Now, on Sunday, like my little cousins, they literally like, yo, it's Sunday, can we go ride up in that neighborhood? That instead of hanging on a corner, let's go ride around there. You already changed literally someone's life, probably saved someone's life just by showing them different things. So that's my passion. Just want to show them there's other routes and other things that are just as cool as buying Jordans and stuff, if not cooler.
Yeah, and I love that because I feel like, that's my story, you know what I'm saying? Like, the moment I was exposed, like growing up in the hood, the moment I was exposed to a different type of lifestyle, and I knew what was possible, it stretched my mind, and those possibilities kind of, helped me go in the right trajectory. Mel, what would you tell you?
I agree with everything you're saying. I want to say two things. The most powerful thing in the world is a made-up mind. Like once you make a decision, whether it's going to be to go left or right? Like if you make up your mind where you want to be in the streets, you want to do this, like you're going to get that. But if you make up your mind and say, I want to join a movement like this, I want to be like Ash Cash, I want to be like Billionaire B, or whoever you can do it. Make up your mind, stick to it, because if you do that, nothing is going to stop you, right? And the second piece to it is understanding that failure is the cheat code to success. Right, we gotta fail, right? We gotta go through that. A lot of us be scared to fail. Like I speak to a few people in my family and they be like, I don't wanna invest because it's my last 2,000. Like they scared of what that's like, right? They don't wanna leave their job because they scared of what it would be like going on this journey of entrepreneurship. But you gotta understand that if you fail, you're gonna be able to learn from that experience. That's how we got where we are today. And then get a mentorship, because that's a way of understanding somebody else's failures, right? They say a smart person learns from their mistakes, but a wise person learns from the mistakes of others. So I learn from your failures, right? And I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna win. And a lot of people, we mad about our situations. We upset, we in, just circumstances that's just not right. But I say, listen, if you mad, you gotta make a difference. That's what that means. If you mad enough, make a difference and do something about it, and we're gonna go from there. So, yeah. That's what I would say. I really mean it because, we all come from the same circumstances, right? But we had to truly be mad about it, make a decision, and do something different, and you see the results.
You got a pocket of these quotes, bro?
Facts,
He's got like a little black book.
Yo, he's spitting the bars.
He's like, I'm gonna use this one today.
He barred up.
Now I peeped it in real time. I saw when the light bulb went off in your mind. I saw his face. He's like, oh. Yo, one of the biggest things that I feel have changed my life as a young entrepreneur is trying as many different things as possible. Yeah. Like, I didn't get a job out of school. I went to college. I didn't get a job out of school. I tried the serving thing. I tried the events-based thing. I tried the real estate thing. I tried the Airbnb thing. And like Ramel was saying, it's just like the faster you fail, the faster you learn. So I'm learning at a rapid pace simply because I'm trying so many different things. People be so afraid to just dip their hand in thinking that they're gonna fall in. Nah, but you don't even realize you could float. So it's just like now I'm all about exposure. Like I don't care if it's my last $3,000, I'm going to this conference. I don't care if it's my last $5,000, I'm going to this convention because all I need is one gem. All I need is one play. Like information changes situations, but only through implementation. Like you got to implement these various things. But the thing about it is that like I remember I was in San Diego for a convention, and they talking about like, yeah, you know, I just did $40-50 million last year. You did what now? Like I've never just nonchalantly, and it just kind of like it leveled the room. Because now it's just like, oh, this is a different kind of conversation. You don't even realize that your brain is naturally stretching itself to catch up to other people, which is why I always like being the dumbest person in the room. Because the only way I'm going is up. You gotta throw the rope down for me to climb up. So I'm just like, yo, why am I like, it's so funny because like, especially as men, like guys, especially when they're around guys who's doing other things, it's just always like, oh yeah, you big bro. I don't want to be big bro. I don't want to be big bro. I want to be little bro as much as possible because I can only grow. But if I'm the best, I can't learn from the best. So I'm always getting around rooms and like, this 5-day challenge I feel like is a godsend. Because it's just like people are going to be exposed to things that they never seen before, things that they never heard before, people that they never met before. And in record speed, they're going like people are going to be coming on this challenge making more progress than they've done in the past 5 years of their life. Wow. But the only thing that's not guaranteed is your success if you don't get there. Period.
I love it. What would y'all say? So far, you know, you guys have, you know, surpassed where I was. Like I was still working for the man, trying to figure out, I was still, in the bank at your age. But what
now
would
we
you
in
say?
the vault.
Now we in the vault. Bars.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? What would you say so far has been the biggest mistake that you guys have made, on your journey, and how has that mistake, helped you to be where you are right now?
Me, I would say not investing in mentorship faster. That's just it. Like I took too much time trying to figure it out myself. Yo, I don't trust that person, right? Because where we come from, in the hood, we don't even look somebody in the eyes for 3 seconds. Like, what's up? What we doing here, right? Like, we come from a space we
they
don't
do that
even
in Scranton?
Cut it. Like, you don't even really have the opportunity to be able to learn from other people because we so defensive, right? And that's what I was defensive for a long time. So I had to open up my mind and understand, the biggest mistake I made was I wasted time by not just getting around the right people, invested in myself faster, learning so I could be where I'm at even further than what it is.
But let me stay there for a second though, right? Because I'm literally, my wife and I we were having this conversation recently because when you from the hood though, you have to be defensive because you will die if you're not, right? So you got to learn defense. And then what winds up happening though, when you get out of the hood and you get into these environments, you are who you are though. So you play in that same way, right? You play, right? You take that with you, which is detrimental to you in different other spaces. So how did you get out of that defensive mode to now play offense, and now, I got the rock, and I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying? What was that transition like?
So I had to be isolated. So I learned that when I went to college. If I didn't go to college, I wouldn't have been able to grow, right? But when I went to college, people were saying, hey, how you doing? Just speaking. I'm like, whoa, what's going on, right? And now I'm looking like the odd man out. I'm looking like the odd man out now. I'm the weird person because I'm not speaking to people. I'm not communicating. I'm not showing love. So it took me to go to a new environment to see what I was doing in my old environment is not real. That's only gonna keep me where it was. So that's really how I started to change my mindset.
And so what you're saying is anybody in a environment who's trying to pivot, put yourself in a different environment, get comfortable being uncomfortable, but be in that environment so that environment can shape you eventually.
You hit it on the head.
Got it. Biggest mistake, Boone?
Biggest mistake for me was not going at the funding early. So, and I'm not even saying that just to say it, but when I first got started in real estate, it was all sales. I was trying to I want to buy a property. Let me go ahead and do these transactions, no money out of pocket, help you build wealth so I can run up my bag and then I can go buy some cash. Now, I thought about it after 2 years in, I'm like, I could just go get funding and I could skip this whole sales part and go straight to being a real estate investor. Instead of helping you become a real estate investor, I'm gonna just be my own. So my biggest mistake, I would say, is 2017 when I got started, I should have went straight for funding and became a real estate investor early on. Because my first year, I did 17, 18 deals. And maybe if I would have bought 17, 18 properties, I still would have owned. I don't regret it, but also at the same time, dang, I wish I would have went and got funding right out the gate. So that's my biggest mistake.
Yeah, no, I love it, B.
One of the biggest mistakes that I feel like I made is not asking for help sooner. like just being so not only do I come from like a single parent household, but I'm also an only child. So I was raised in a very independent household, like cooking and cleaning by the time I was 9 years old or anything like that, because my mom was always at work trying to put food on the table. So I was raised in an environment of just trying to, like Ramel said, figuring everything out. But then I realized it's like one brain can only go so far, 2 brains could go only so far, 3 brains could go a lot further. So that's when I realized, and I started learning about like, collaboration and growing and mentorship and exposing yourself to different environments. Because a lot of times, like we said, you can't learn a lot of these things on Google and YouTube. You have to learn from people's experiences, like OPE, other people's experiences, right? So now it's just like, you might speak to somebody and they're just like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got this property over here and I use this loan. But you would have never thought about that because you never met this person. You didn't ask for help. So one of the biggest things for me is I just wish I learned how to just learn from other people sooner, fall farther and faster, so I can get back up a lot quicker. Because the biggest thing is, like I said, like one brain is, and don't get me wrong, like I think I'm a smart person, but the thing about it is just like you don't know what you don't know. And experience tells all and teaches many. So it's just like, why am I not exposing myself to other people as much as possible so that I can grow a lot further? You feel me?
Yeah, no, I love it. All right, y'all. Listen, if you don't spend 5 days with these young men, these young multi-millionaires, I don't know what you trying to do, then we can't help you. They got a 5-day challenge, 5-day experience. You could go general admission, but I would suggest you go $297, you do that VIP, you get to ask them questions directly about your specific situation. Fundingthevault.com. You'll get access to you get access to them. Again, 5-day experience. Any last words for the people?
Can I pay for everybody's ticket?
Oh.
So I said, I don't want to disrespect everybody. So I said something earlier, but I didn't finish it. So I remember I said alliance. So one of the credit unions that I utilize and how we help fund a lot of people off of this is Alliance Credit Union. So when you go to the website, you click business loans, business credit cards. You apply for the cash rewards cards. It's 0% interest for 12 months. They pull from Experian, and then they only need about a 670, 680 credit score. All you need is your EIN number. They're not asking for no paperwork, no documents. So you can apply right online and get between $10,000 to $30,000 right there online. So you can use that money to pay for you and everybody else's tickets, so then you can get the other banks to get the other $70,000 that you utilize, so we can start this business, and this business. So if that works for everybody, then...
Wait, hold on. Exclusive game changer. So he not even telling you. He just gave you a play. He just gave you some money. He just gave you a play just now that as you're watching this, you should hit the pause button, go do what he said, then come back and go to fundingthevault.com, join the challenge so he can show you how to get the other 70 so you can run the other plays. Come on, y'all playing around.
I know he's going to come that spicy.
If a lot of people are scared to give information because they don't know enough, that's like a throwaway.
Light word.
That's a throwaway.
Word.
It's not a throwaway.
Word.
Sheesh. Mogul.
Look, listen. Fundingthevault.com. That's it. We heavy.
Man, look, listen. Y'all already know what it is, man. And me and my brothers, we just, like my man Boone said, like if somebody is stingy to give away the plays, it's because they ain't got enough. Right? Like on a whim. Like this. I feel like we gave away, like my brother Ash Cash just said, $1 million worth of game. Imagine what the paid stuff looked like. Period, point blank, period. Let's get it.
All right, y'all. Make sure y'all run over fundingthevault.com. Join these young gentlemen for the 5-day challenge. If somebody wanted to connect with y'all, online individually, where can they find you?
Definitely tap in with me on Instagram at BrianMNKN. Tap in. Let's get it.
Yeah, Mogul Lifestyle _ on Instagram.
DS Boone, DSBOONE.
All right, y'all. Another awesome episode of Inside the Vault. We are closing out the vault. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Inside the Vault. Me, I am Ash Cash. Make sure you visit me, IamAshCash.com. Follow me on all social media platforms at Inside the Vault. I'll see you next week, same time, same place, in God's will. All right, y'all. Peace.
Good.
Get it.